Biggest what ifs in college football this year. Hey, what if Nico Iamaleava in Knoxville is just a breakout star? Not average, not easing into things. Nico Iamaleava, one of the best quarterbacks in the country this year. He's got the raw physical tools to be that. He's got the head on his shoulders to be that. He's certainly got the system he's in to warrant consideration for that. Well, if he was that, they'd be a legitimate SEC contender. They'd be a playoff contender. Depending on how good their defense is at Tennessee, they would be in the national title conversation. Now, that's lofty. That's lofty. So I'm going to pause. They haven't done that since Philip Fulmer was there. And might I add, I was watching as much practice footage as I could yesterday, and I saw some footage from Tennessee. Colin, I saw some footage from Knoxville. And you'll never guess who was hanging out at practice yesterday. One Philip Fulmer. Just kind of hanging out there, as he has every right to do. It's just always nice to see Philip Fulmer roaming the indoor sidelines in Knoxville. How good is that defense this year? Because if Nico Iamaleava popping coincides with them having, top 20 defense, that's a national title contender. Hope you realize that. The reason I mentioned top 20 is because one of you had one of your bold predictions the other day be that Tennessee was going to be a top 20 defense and have the number one offense. They had the number one offense 2 years ago. Defense may not be worlds off. Secondary, I have to see to believe. But defense may not be worlds off. Wide receiver, good. Running back, good. Offensive line, question, but I think they'll work it out. So if they have star potential at quarterback, then that team's got big-time potential overall. Next up, as we venture just up the road here in Nashville, just up the road a little ways to Louisville, what if Tyler Shuck is healthy this year? That's a big what if you know him and you know his history, because he hasn't played more than 2/3 of a season ever. But when he's played, all he's done is win. So if I could just get health out of him, that'd be a wonderful thing for Louisville, wouldn't it? Now, here's the problem, kinda. He's a dual threat guy. Therefore, he's not showcasing his full game unless he's using his legs. Doing that makes him incredibly injury prone. That's the catch-22. Now, they were 10-4 last year at Louisville. Offense held them back, though. You know, they could have been better than that. They could have been an ACC championship team last year. Offense held them back. The transfer portal they had to use to revamp, and they did. They got a much harder schedule this year. But if he's healthy, they can be contenders. Now, here's the problem. The problem is, if you dive into their schedule a little bit, I'm a paper pop on this one because this bears close watching. There is something called bye luck, and they don't have it. And that means the two of the best teams they play this year, Miami and Clemson, both have byes before them. They play like 4 or 5 consecutive games before each one of them. So it's not the best structured schedule, but if I get a healthy Tyler Shuck, whomst amongst us knows what could happen there. And then the third question, third what if, is one that is sort of evergreen around here. NetJets, wheels up, I hope you're listening. What if we finally make it to 2 games in one day this year? Now, I'm not talking about one where, there are multiple games happening, like Clemson plays Georgia week 1 in Atlanta. Well, I'm not going to that one and then going down the road to Georgia State at what was formerly known as Turner Field. That doesn't count. We're talking about legit one town to another town, probably a noon kickoff, then the 7:30 kickoff, making it happen this year. It's been a goal. I dropped the ball horrifically 2 years ago. For those who don't know the story, we were at the Red River Shootout, known by no other name on this program, and it was a classic. Caleb Williams took over for Spencer Rattler, and Lincoln Riley's Oklahoma Sooners mounted a fierce comeback, and they beat Texas, and fireworks everywhere. It's great, and you're exhausted. And then you leave the Cotton Bowl, and you've got a decision to make. Because down the road 2 hours in College Station, Alabama's playing Texas A&M that night. Bama's about a 3-touchdown favorite. You're holding a sideline pass to the game. But you're also sunburnt, and you want to get home because you've got a show the next night, and there's a plane waiting on you there. You're sitting at Love Field. And I got on the plane. And somewhere over Arkansas, I watched as Seth Small, I believe was the kicker's name, kicked a game-winning field goal, beat Alabama. The field gets stormed. I'm humiliated as the plane celebrates because everyone roots against Alabama except Bama fans. And I have not lived it down since. I had a shot. I let it go. I let it off the hook that day. Is this the year we can make it happen? There are some candidates. It's still up in the air. It remains to be seen. So those are the big what-ifs in college football this year.